Are we doing it? Everybody, welcome back to my studio. My name is Taylor McDarison and I'm the director of Arrtaysia.llc. A few things have changed, but also I'm realizing it's been a really long time since I've done an Into the Lair with you guys. And I've done a lot of stuff since then. We did a little bit of pottery and working on a octopus sculpture. Again, different one. I'll have some metal work stuff in the works too. Well, let's go check it out. I started making plates because plates was like the hardest thing for me, and I really wanted a set for myself and then never did it. So I made a bunch of plates for everybody else to sell because I thought they were really challenging and I loved that, and then I made some for me, which was awesome. But I'm currently making plates because they're all the rage and I have a bunch of commissions of everybody wanting plates. So I think that's really, really cool. I'm happy to have the practice, and it's cool to see them get better and better and better, and I think that's very evident in at least my plates, so I'm just like, my trim work kind of started with like an inspiration from like Japanese and Chinese footing. If you've ever seen just like high stilted three-pointed pottery, I love that aesthetic. And so I kind of did my own spin on it, tried reduction carving some points out of it. And I was thinking about the functionality of feet, and somebody told me that it was like as a hot plate. And then I started to put in these like deep grooves that reminded me of hot plates, and I absolutely loved the look. So these just like triangular protrusions, deep, low relief protrusions on the bottom of my plates was all kind of born from that, and I just love the look. And I like doing design work because I like to surprise people with pottery, you know, when you handle it and turn it over to see a detail that you didn't expect, you know, in a particular place. So I also started jars. I'm like in the habit of, if I suck at a thing, that I do it a lot. So I had been too lazy to do jars for like a long time because it's a 2-component piece. But eventually that part of it kind of itched at me, and it has to be accurate, it has to be well proportioned. The time came that I wanted to see if I could and challenge myself in doing it. I am also many times inspired by my students. I teach pottery classes at the Potter Shop in Waukesha, and they come up with a bunch of amazing stuff. And every once in a while it inspires me to give my own spin of it a try, you know. So it's like this huge conglomerate community of just like idea sharing, which is amazing. The large vases, the combined forms that I'm currently working with, is both born out of a love of larger scale work with a lot of my larger scale sculpture work, and then also very heavily encouraged by a friend of mine, Paul's Garage. So you guys should check out Paul's Garage's work. He's brilliant. The stuff he's doing on his channel is exceptional. Like, it'll blow your mind. This guy's a genius. So links in the description below if you do want to check out his stuff. So I worked with 3 pounds and 3 pounds, and it was like a perfect lead-in from the jars because all this caliper work to make sure that you're well proportioned, I kind of hashed out with the jars, and I'm so happy I did because it really opened up my world with what I could do on the wheel. Before the jars, I had only done a lamp. I have to center 3 pounds, throw a piece, put it aside, take the measurement, center 3 pounds again, take the other side of it. And it's helping me with like structural stuff too, just because some of those big curves put a lot of pressure downward on the wheel, which ends up collapsing a piece. I'm just enjoying it all around. It's a lot of fun. I'm actually really shocked how centered they are. I mean, they're not perfect, but they're pretty well centered when I've combined them too. So that was some of my favorite challenges about the vases, and eventually they will be for sale. I just gotta figure out what the heck I'm doing with the glazing. I hope to do a lot more of them too. I came up with my signature, not just for my pottery, so it's my universal signature throughout any of the mediums that I do. I came up with it in high school. I took a piece of paper and my best friend had come up with a gorgeous signature, so that's a Harta Art. It was really, really beautiful, and I was inspired to do something similar. And so in high school, everybody called me T McD. So I wanted to do something with that. So I did my really elegant T, and then I wanted to overlay the McD in a visual diagonal, just because I really liked diagonals at the time. Eventually, I arrived at what I have today, and I've used it ever since, and now it's just second nature. So cleanup in any medium is very important and takes forever. But in pottery and ceramic work, it takes forever. So I always budget 3 hours if I'm gonna sit down minimum to do any kind of work. That's an hour to clean up in the beginning, at least an hour to work, and an hour to clean up at the end. and it takes so long because it's wet clay that gets like everywhere. And even if you're just like trimming or doing something that isn't thrown, it gets a lot of dust everywhere. And an artist sort of sacrifices with what they're working with. That's not always super healthy, so it's really important to stay ergonomic and health conscious. And with clay in particular, the threat of the potter's lung or silicosis being all that dust and clay in the air is like super bad on your lungs. Cleaning up is a habit that took me a long time to actually beat into myself. Like, it wasn't something that I originally wanted to do. I encourage anybody with a studio practice to work that in and to work it in well. I hope you guys enjoyed that little glean into what I've been up to. Some of the footage that you guys saw was from the Potter Shop in Waukesha, which, as you know, is where I teach and work. And it's an amazing space, amazing people, and there's also some amazing supplies. I always love when you guys leave comments below. It honestly makes my day to be able to share what I'm doing with you, interact with you guys. Your feedback is monumental. It really does matter. Big ol' shout out to my patrons on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for making this possible. Extra shout out to my celestial kinsfolk, Carrie Caros, for going above and beyond every month. Thank you so much for your constant generosity. And always thank you to the Facebooks and the Instas, all the everybody's. Otherwise, I got more stuff to make, but I appreciate you guys so much, and we'll see ya later! I hear the kids do the dabs.